connecting this way. Maybe our Katha Prapancha will happen this way too. So here's to a wonderful morning, I hope. And let's start without any further ado. Let's start with the story. Hey, who is this fellow? Now, you know what happened during this COVID times. I didn't have anyone to tell stories in the beginning. And that is when I started telling stories to my friend. His name is Arumugam. Arumugam today is wearing this Gandhi cap or the Nehru cap as they call it. And he is fully enthusiastic. He told me in the morning itself, Seema, we need to tell patriotic stories. I have listened to all kinds of stories. I've listened to stories of Ramayana. I've listened to all kinds of things. But today, I want stories connected with the Independence Day celebrations. And so, he is ready to listen. See, he made a cap for himself. And not only did he make a cap for himself, he has got me some gifts. I'll keep him aside and I'll show you the gifts that he got me, which are so sweet. I just saw Rekha ma'am also wearing it. Okay, so let me see what gifts he's got and get ready for the story. You sit here. Yes. Now, he's used to listening to my stories like this. Yes, with his cap. Now, what is this gift that he's got me? He's got me a cap like himself. Oh, so cute. Am I wearing it properly? Yes. He's got a cap and he's got this too. Thank you, Armugam. Lovely. I just put this, like this and start my story. My story today is about a small boy. Now, I like telling children stories about children because that is very nice, interesting, isn't it? So this story is about a small boy called Dhani. Now, Dhani had a pet and that pet was called Binny. Dhani, Binny. Now, wherever Dhani went, Binny went. As you must have heard that song, right? Mary had a little lamb, like that. Dhani had a little goat, his name was Binny. So wherever he went, Binny went along. Now, where did Dhani stay? Dhani stayed in an ashram. I guess you're all old enough to know what's an ashram, isn't it? So he stayed in an ashram. Which ashram is this? He stayed in Sabarmati Ashram. Now, Sabarmati Ashram, so this is not a story at all. It is real, okay? So, he stayed in Sabarmati Ashram, and that means this story took place many years ago. To be exact date, if I have to tell you, it took place 90 years ago in 1930. In 1930, that was when Dhani with his goat Binny stayed in Sabarmati Ashram. But who stayed in Sabarmati Ashram? Gandhiji, of course. Since Gandhiji stayed there, people from all over India would visit them, would stay there. They would offer their services. They wanted to help Gandhiji in whatever he wanted to plan. And so there were many people living or staying in Sabarmati Ashram. But Gandhiji was very strict. He had rules. Everyone staying in Sabarmati Ashram had to do something or the other. It will be distributed equally. You will take care of growing vegetables. You will take care of looking after the cows and goats. That's where Dhani came in. Even a small boy, he had to take care of the goat and milk the goat, everything. Then there would be some other people who would be assigned the role of spinning, charaka, making threads and clothes. And then there would be some people who would be in charge of cleaning. So like this, each and every one had a duty which they had to do. So they were very self-sufficient. They would grow their own vegetables. They would grow their own fruits, have their own supplies, clean themselves. And it was a happy place. But it was also a very busy place. So every day, Gandhiji would be involved in so many meetings. He would have meetings after meetings, discussing with people, planning, plotting, and what should we do? They would have, in his office room, people would be surrounding Gandhiji and he would have major discussions. So this Dhani, being very curious, being very young and very curious, he was often very curious to find out what is happening because nobody ever told him anything. So one day, when he saw that there was a meeting going on, because he had seen continuously people were coming, going, they were talking, and so he was very curious. Quietly, he went to the door and he saw that there was a window there, and he decided to peep in to see who all were there, what is happening. So he just, on his toes, he stood. He could not see anything. He could just hear some words, some salt. They were talking about Dhandi. They were saying something, but he couldn't hear. He didn't understand a word. So he came to the door. Shoo, go away. When elders, when children come away, they don't like this. Shoo, don't disturb. Go, play with your goat. They said and chased him away. And Dhani got very irritated. He said, I'm 9 years old and they think I'm stupid or what? As if I don't understand anything. They never, anytime they see me, they say, shoo, shoo. So he got very angry. And then he thought, if there was one person who will tell him anything, it has to be his mother. So he went running to his house and his mother was busy cooking. Remember, this is 1930. At that time, no stove, no gas stove, no electric oven, no microwave, nothing, isn't it? So his mother was cooking on a fire, on a chula. So she had just put some coal and she was cooking, making some rotis, and she was blowing air into it so that the fire would become bigger, and she was fanning on one hand so that the smoke would go away. So she was very busy. She was multitasking. And this little boy Dhani went and said, Maji, I want to know something. What are they doing? And she was like, what? I can't hear you. And they said, Maji, Gandhiji, they're doing something. They're planning. I want to know what it is. And she said, oh, that. They are going for a march. March? No, this little boy said, March, Gandhiji is going for a march past, left, right. He said, shh, not like that. Gandhiji is going on a walk. Walk? You meant to say for health. He always walks around here. Why should he go for a walk? He said, no. Don't ask me too many questions. My roti is getting burnt. Go, give me some potatoes, she said, and chased him off. So he's now half curious. He knows half information. That is even more worse, isn't it? So he went out and he went straight to the garden to get potatoes. And there he met the gardener. The gardener's name was Binda. Now Binda was busy digging the earth to get potatoes. So he went quietly and directly asked him without anything, are you going for the walk? And Binda was shocked. So he said, no. What walk is this? Tell me, why you're not going? Is Amma going? Is Papa going? Are they going? Can I go? So many questions. And Binda also had to say, stop. I will answer. This is a walk that is planned by Gandhiji. So he said, that I found out. That I know. But why are they going? Asked Dhani. And then Binda said, Gandhiji has decided that he will go to a far off place which is 385 kilometers away. So far he's going for what? He said, to make salt. To make salt. You can buy from local shop. No, here only in that shop itself you get salt. Why you should go? Asked Dhani. Said, no, you can't. Because the British, they have passed a rule that you can't make your own salt. You can't sell salt. No Indian can make salt or sell salt. And added to it, he has, the British, they have decided that for every kg of salt you buy, you have to pay extra tax. Now this little boy, he didn't even know what is tax. He said, tax? What is that? And then he said, you see, if it is 1 rupee, 1 kg salt, you have to pay, say, 1 rupee 50 paisa or 2 rupees also extra. Oh. And that is why Gandhiji is protesting. He is saying, we will not listen to this because everybody needs salt. Even the poor people need salt. Can you eat anything without salt? Asked Binda. Then he said, no, I can't eat anything without salt. See, that is why. So, or even the poor people, they have to spend more money. And that is why he has decided that he will protest. Now, Dhani was very confused. He said, I understand that you have to make salt, but why go all the way there? He said, no. And that was walking. How long has to walk? Then the Binda said he will walk for almost 30 days. 30 days. Why can't he go bus and train? He's such a smart child. He said, bus and train? No. Gandhiji is very smart, because if you go by walk, on the way you can meet people. You pass through villages, towns, cities. You keep talking to people. You keep telling them we should disobey. So many people communities. It is not just Hindus, Muslims, everybody he can meet, and it will be so nice, and then will become will get covered all over the world. Gandhiji's smart idea. Everybody will come to know what the British are doing. Now Dhani was very excited. He said, "My God, Gandhiji has made such a plan. He's going. I'm also going." Binda said, "This and all I don't know. Now go. Stop disturbing me. Go." He said. Now, Dhani has decided that he wants to go for the Dandi March. And so he went straight to Gandhiji's office there, and again he went and peeped through the window. And he saw his father. He was very happy. His father is there. He can convince him somehow. So he was waiting outside for his father to come out. Then when his father came out, he chased him and said, "Papa, Papa, I have to ask you something. Sit. Now, let me spin." So his father was spinning on the wheel, and he said, "Now ask me what you want to know." He said, "Are you going for the Dandi March?" His father said, "Yes, I am going." "Is mommy going? Can I come with you?" He said, No. Gandhiji has decided who will go, who cannot go. Small children cannot come, so you cannot. He got himself, "No, I'm going. Like a small stubborn boy. So his father said, No, Gandhiji will decide. Okay, we can't decide who will go and who will not go. Not possible. Now go, stop disturbing me." I think this Dhani kept getting chased, from one place to another place to another place. But he was determined. "I will go. You are not allowing? I will ask Gandhiji myself," he said, and went straight again to Gandhiji. By that time, it was evening. So Gandhiji was busy with bhajan. Every evening they'll have this bhajans there. So as he went, he saw everybody is sitting there and they're singing bhajans. Vaishnava Janato, la 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 la. How to disturb him? They're all singing bhajans. First Vaishnava Janato, Raghupati Raghav, Raja Ram. Oh my God. So he too joined the bhajans. He was waiting when he can get Gandhiji. And then after that, Gandhiji went for one other meeting. He went for something else. And he was so busy, he could not catch him at all. And then he thought, I have to think of some better idea to chase, to catch hold of Gandhiji. He's not easy. And that was when he remembered Gandhiji gets up very early in the morning. He goes for a walk and he goes and meets all those pets, all those, they had those cows. He will go and talk to the cows. He'll go and talk to the gardener. That is the time to catch him, he said, and he went to sleep happy. Next day morning, he woke up early in the morning, bright as a pea. He got up, and then he went straight. And when he went, along with him came Binni. Doing, doing, doing. He came along and he saw Gandhiji. He was standing near the cows and he was just soothing the cows. And he was telling, he was talking to the person who's looking after the cows. And then he was so excited, he wanted to talk, but sometimes when you actually want to do it, you get a little scared, like going to your principal or like going to your teachers and you want to talk, but at that moment you get a little scared, isn't it? So he was about to go and he hesitated. By then Gandhiji had left that place. He went to meet Binda. He was talking with Binda, the gardener. So again they went chasing there and he was about to say, what if Gandhiji says something? Oh, what should I tell? Or should I ask? Should I not ask? Too many doubts. By then Gandhiji had left that space also. Again he went chasing. Gandhiji went outside his house, sat on his veranda, took his charaka and started to spin. Dhani and Binni, both in doubt. They're just sitting behind wondering whether to go and talk or not. At that time, Gandhiji said, "Hey beta, come here." "Who are you? What are you doing?" he asked him. And then he said, he said, "I know you've been chasing me. From yesterday I'm seeing you. You're peeping through the window, looking through the door. You were there at the cow shed. You were there when I was talking to Binda. Why are you following me? You're some detective or something?" And then he said, No. I am Dhani. And this is my goat, Binni. Binni, only gives goat milk. That milk only you drink. He said, and Gandhiji said, is it? So nice. That milk makes me very strong. Thank you. But now can you tell me, what is the problem? Why are you chasing me? And that was when Dhani, he drew his breath and he said, Gandhiji, I want to come with you. I want to come for Dhandi March. And Gandhiji smiled and said, no, beta, only older people will go. No children like you. But I'm strong. Gandhiji, I'm strong. I can walk. But, I can walk. I walk a lot. He said, but Gandhiji said, no. We are walking 385 kilometers. We walk in the morning, afternoon, evening. No. Small children cannot come. Now, Dhani, he said, small children cannot come. But you are so old. You can go. And then Gandhiji just smiled and said, I am 61 years old. I know I'm 61 years old, but I have walked a lot, I have done many such walking, satyagraha. I have done so many walks, so I'm used to it. Now, one more thing. If I keep walking and you two keep walking along with me, who will take care of Binny? We can't take Binny with us. And if you come along, who will feed Binny? Binny will eat only when you give grass, isn't it? Then he said, yes, only when I give him leaves and grass he eats. Otherwise he will not eat at all. Yes. So if you come with me, then who will take care of Binny? And after I come back after 30 days, I will be so tired, I will be weak. That time I need this goat milk to become strong again. So will you stay back? Will you take care of Dhani? Binny, will you take care of him so that I get lots of goat milk to be strong? Not just me. All the people, they'll all need, no? So will you take care? Dhani understood. He said, oh, I also have a job now. I have to also take care of Gandhiji. So he said, yes, I will not come with you. I will take care of Binny and I'll wait for you. I'll pray for you, he said. And that's exactly what happened. The next day morning, Gandhiji, with his team of 78 people, on 12th March 1930, he went on his march. He walked for 385 kilometers till Dandi, passing through different villages. They would start early in the morning, pass through different villages and towns, and the people of those villages, see, Gandhiji was so famous. He was like a superstar then, isn't it? So they would just be waiting to see him. They'd all come on the streets. They'll be standing with folded hands, and some people will be spinning on their charkas in their veranda. They would have decorated the place like how we have done, waiting for Gandhi to come. They'll ask him, can we join you? And many joined him also. And by evening, they'll rest in some place. They ate very simple food. The villagers would give them something. They would stay back in temples and schools, wherever they would get shelter, and again next day morning start walking. They walked and walked and walked, and it is said in one of the villages, 105-year-old lady, very old lady, isn't it? She too came and waited for Gandhi. And when Gandhiji came, she put a tilak on him and said, come back, get us the Swarajya, meaning get us the freedom, self-governance, get us. Gandhiji promised her that he would try and kept walking. They walked at one point, they came to a river called the Mahi River. Now Mahi River, by the time they reached there, it was evening, twilight time. So the water level had gone up and it was impossible to cross. And that was the only way. They had to cross that to reach the next destination. And so Gandhiji kept looking up and down, and finally, after 2 hours, they found a place where they could actually cross, where the water was shallow. And believe it or not, by that time it was 10 o'clock in the night, but they walked through that water. This entire army of people, they walked through that heavy water. Although it was shallow, imagine the slippery rocks in the middle of the night. They walked for 2.5 hours and finally reached that other destination. Again, next day morning, continue. And on 5th April, they reached their destination. They reached Dandi. Previous night they had reached, and on 5th April, they got there to that actual place near the sea bank. Gandhiji went, picked up the salt and said, we have done it. The salt is ours. Nobody can, ask us to stop making salt or stop selling it. or pay tax on it, we will not listen to this. And this information, when he did this, the press, which had been following him all along, they took photographs, they published it everywhere, and it became so famous that all over India people came to know. Down below in the south, Rajaji, he heard of this. He said, I'm going to do this. So he did the same, salt march, Dhandi March. Instead of Dhandi, he went to another place in Tamil Nadu. Someone went in Kerala, someone went in the Northeast. And like this, all over India, people started breaking the rule, of not obeying what the British was saying and making their own salts in pans, in pots, whatever they could lay their hands on. They were disobeying whatever the British had asked them to do. And that is why it is called the civil disobedience movement. It started with this. And just when everybody thought it was all going well, in just another 15 days, Gandhiji decided that he is going to a salt factory in a place called Dharasana. Okay, he was about to go there, and Gandhiji always told everybody, he told the government, I am going to do this Dandi March. I am going to do this. You do whatever you want. I'm not going to fight, but I am going to do this. He had told. So he had written to the Viceroy that he's going to that factory. And then middle of the night on 4th May, the British sent their policemen and arrested Gandhiji. That's it. So just as Gandhiji was getting into the prison, he told Sarojini Naidu, they said, no violence. Whatever happens, we will not fight back. We will do our thing, but we will not fight back. Sarojini Naidu told the same thing to all the volunteers, because when people found out that Gandhiji was going to Dharasana, 2,500 people were ready to go there. And on that day, they actually went there. 21st April, they went there, and 21st May, they went there, and every time people would go there, the police would hit them with a lathi. That lathi had a silver edge, and so it would hit, and they would faint and fall down. Volunteers will come, pick them up. The next lot will come. I think you've seen this. If you've seen the movie Gandhi, it's a beautiful movie. Our age, almost everyone would have seen. If you children haven't seen it, please see. Volunteers after volunteers, they're coming, picking up these people. By then, the next round of people, ready to enter the salt factory were there. 2,500 people were beaten. 2 people died also. 400 were seriously injured. And the entire thing was captured in camera. Pictures were taken, put in all the newspapers all over the world, saying the British are ill-treating the Indians. This is what is happening. These people are not even protesting, and they're getting hit. This came all over the papers. Finally, a year later, almost a year later, the British had to concede. They had to sign a pact, the Gandhi-Irwin Pact, saying that the tax on salt is removed, that Indians are free to make their own salt. So whatever Gandhiji had set out to do had become a reality. So one single man, his idea, there was no show, there was no anything, simple and action, isn't it? So he led to a movement which went on and led to many others. And finally, as we all know, on 15th August 1947, we got our freedom. This is based, actually it's 2 stories. One is in real, this one of Dhandi March, and the other one is based on a book called Marching to Freedom. So I have combined the 2 and presented this story to you. Hope it made it interesting, because I'm sure you would have learned about Dhandi March in your history classes. It's just that these small facts will make it more memorable as a story when I tell you. I think it will leave a lasting impression.